After the famous victories at Jericho and Ai, word soon spread that God was doing amazing things for his people as they obeyed what he said and set about clearing the promised land. But when Gibeon, a town in the promised land, learnt about what God was doing through Joshua, they hatched a plan to trick him into promising not to attack them. Their idea was to send a small group of men who would pretend that they'd travelled for a long time from a far-off land. If Joshua could be fooled into thinking that people from Gibeon weren't from the promised land, they hoped he would promise not to harm them. So the people of Gibeon set about making it look like they'd been travelling for a long time. They loaded their donkeys with worn-out sacks and old wineskins. They made sure their clothing looked grubby and was covered in patches. They even let their bread go mouldy, and then they set off to meet Joshua. When they met Joshua, they said to him, "We have come from a country that is far from here. Please make a peace agreement with us." The Israelites were a bit suspicious, but the people from Gibeon went on, "If you make a peace agreement with us, we will be your servants." When Joshua heard about these strangers, he wasn't sure either. But the people from Gibeon told him that they'd heard about his God and that they'd travelled for days to meet with him. Then they showed Joshua the old wineskins, their patched-up clothes and the mouldy bread. Instead of asking God what they should do, the Israelites tasted the mouldy bread. Ugh! The bread was so disgusting that they believed everything the people from Gibeon had said. So Joshua and all the leaders of the Israelites promised not to harm anyone from their town. A few days later, the Israelites found out that they'd been tricked. They were really angry and wanted to attack them. But their leaders reminded them that they had made a promise before God not to harm them. "If we break our promise," they said, "God will punish us." Joshua called the people from Gibeon to a meeting. "You live close by," Joshua told them. "Why did you lie by saying you travelled from a far-off land? We will keep our promise not to harm you, but because you have tricked us, you will become our slaves." The people from Gibeon explained that they had heard that God had commanded the Israelites to clear the promised land, and all the people who lived there. They had lied to protect themselves from harm, but they agreed to be the Israelites' slaves from that time on.